bad assets.
Yay!
Yay! I was on the wrong screen again.
A Bunkers and Badasses podcast?
Yeah, we're good. Just keep going. Pretend it didn't
Gave
happen.
Jay the question mark.
I wanted to put a question at the end of it.
We'll fix it in post.
Fix it in post.
I am post.
Let's go ahead and start out by saying what our archetype is, our class, and for our badass fact, we are going to do what is your favorite smell, your character's favorite smell. We'll start with you, Ashley.
All right, my name's Ashley and I play Dove. I'm a hunter elementalist. Dove's favorite smell is anything in the forest because that's where she loves to be. As long as it's a good smell and not like poop or something. And then she has a companion named Duck Norris. And Duck Norris likes the smell of blood because it leads him to eyeballs, which in our last episode you learned was his favorite taste.
Oh, sounds like he's got plenty of eyeballs to munch on for the rest of our for a little bit. I'm pretty sure we'll run into more eyeballs.
I was gonna say, you don't know how hungry he is. He's got to keep his
Depending on
stamina up. He's very
His munching
busy.
rate.
All right. Next we have Brian.
Hi, excuse me. I'm Brian. I voice Bruno Albero. He is an elementalist, phase lock siren, and I would say that Bruno's favorite smell would probably be the smell of like the sea coast because Bruno grew up next to the shoreline, so it reminds him of home.
But in space.
But well, I mean, he grew up on a planet though.
Which was in space.
Many layers.
Well, all planets are in space, so yes, you are right.
Yeah, technically correct.
All right. Next we have Davey.
Hi, I'm Davey. I play Hermisflay Gillock. He's a guardian necromancer, and his favorite smell is the smell of garlic, butter, bacon, and soy sauce in a freshly lit gas pan.
Yeah,
Very
no.
specific.
If you haven't smelled it, it's the basic to like a ton of different recipes, and it's super, super good.
That sounds amazing.
So turn that into a candle.
Oh my god, can I please?
Now I'm imagining Borderlands themed candles. They're all just bad.
Skag pile.
Yeah. Rack droppings.
It's all poop. Why is it all poop?
It's all
Guano.
It's up next is Julia.
I'm Julia, and I play Penumbra. Penumbra is an enforcer gunzerker, and Penumbra's favorite smell is the cleaner stuff that you use to clean your guns. It's just,
Nice.
It's the best. I mean, it's that tied with blood, obviously, because I like to beat people up.
That is badass.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we were counting these as badass facts. I kinda, but that one's probably the most badass so far.
it's like gasoline, but like way cooler.
Yeah. I mean, it's more badass than mine. I'm Jay. I play the Nomad, who is a enforcer berserker, and his favorite smell is just Kit. He hasn't smelled a lot of great things. It's Kit. His Kit
You have a
makes good
boner
food.
for my robot? This is weird.
You're noticing
Sounds
a
like it with
theme.
these last two.
I mean,
You're noticing
that
a
was
theme, and I
a nicer
appreciate
way
this.
of what I was about to ask.
That sounds like a
that was
different
like-
badass
or-
fact. Do I have a boner?
I'm concerned
right.
if it's a metal boner.
Wait till we get to touch.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
All right. And before we dig ourselves into a deeper hole, let's introduce our BM, Ian.
Hi, I am the bunker master for this adventure. I shepherd these weirdos around while they murder and smell and touch things. My favorite smell, personally, is always vanilla. Like anything vanilla. I need that. Like I need those. You know those ones where it's like a timed thing, timed release. Every once in a while, I'll just spray that. I need those like directly into my nose. I need like, what are those like those suits that in Dune where just like you put it over your nostrils? I need that, but like instead of filtering my pee and giving me water, it gives me vanilla smells.
Okay.
You should you should think about growing a mustache. They have really great mustache wax that's like
do.
vanilla. You can like all through college I had like a peppermint vanilla.
I have good news for me. I already have one.
Oh, good, good. Well, now you just need to style it.
I'm gonna send you something. I
I'll
have a
send you
company
some
that
links.
makes a really good one. You have a Christmas present coming, so you know.
Oh boy. This is a badass fact that gets me something. This is great. This is my favorite. Last we left off, our heroes had just gone through the arduous hard work of blowing up an entire camp of orcs through fire, but also a touch of fire and a sprinkle of fire.
I love how none of us even thought about walking out and talking to him. It was never even
even
crossed
worth it.
our mind.
Well, that would have been a terrible idea for me, someone who cannot lie at the moment.
That's true. And you are, out of this group, I assume you're the man that would be talking.
You would assume correctly.
Yeah, he's not lying.
I probably could have tried, but the fire just sounded more fun.
So now they find themselves on the edge of this camp where these giant roots have taken over the path and we're leading them to something unknown. So let's get into it.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but I punched that one guy and he had that horn. It went right into my hand. So I'm going to hang back for a minute and try to make sure that's tightened up.
We're gonna have to get that thing cleaned.
I'm clean out of brasso metal polish.
All right, so you're regrouping here. You had just picked up all of the loot, tons of loot, all the loot coming your way. Lots of money that these guys were hoarding and other potions and things that they didn't really know what to do with. And now you find yourselves in the remains of Blood Tree Camp. What would you like to do?
Well, we still got this fire here. Do we need to cook anything real quick before we head out?
Wasn't there leftover food from a little bit ago? It was the mimic.
Oh yeah, we still have that, but I know your Duck Norris also likes cooked apple. Is it cooked apples?
He doesn't care if they're cooked.
Wow, okay, fair.
He doesn't care. He just has an innate love for eyeballs.
Aramis pulls out his notebook. Birds like eyeballs. Cooked? Question mark. Bird book? Question mark.
Bird cookbook?
Yeah, that's an untapped market right there.
Can birds read? Question mark.
Bird owners read.
And you just see Duck Norris hovering over your shoulder. Just looks like reading.
Yeah, I suppose
right.
we can press on from here. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll push south into this.
But we have these roots and branches and stuff in our way. Should we just take some of the fire and try to burn away this stuff?
But before we cause a wildfire, what does this look like?
I think the time has already passed. We've caused a lot of wildfires.
That's fair.
Well, Dove and Duck Norris made sure that the explosion didn't burn anything that was living. Only the campfire and some of the wooden barricades. None of the forest got hurt in this fight. But you do see as you get closer, it isn't so much tree trunks that are fully blocking the path, but they have found their way onto the path from whatever their source is. So you can get through there. It's just there are large tree trunks that are funneling you into this area, basically.
Did any of these orcs have like a machete or anything like that I can pick up, maybe bring with me just in case we have to chop something?
Yeah, a couple of them had like a sword. You know those things with the blades.
Because of recent tree escapades, Bruno is a little suspicious of all these. Can Bruno make an insight check to see if there's anything weird going on besides just the fact that there's a bunch of this stuff going on?
Yes, yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
All right. Bruno rolled a 14.
So these trunks, these vines, and yeah, the trunks of this tree, they all appear to be coming from one area, the area that you're headed towards, and there doesn't seem to be anything living on them. Like it doesn't really feel like the tree trunks themselves are living, or if there was a tree that they were from, that tree is no longer around. As far as you can tell.
All right. Bruno is all right with passing through this area.
So is it like creepy and scary, or is it like this is destroyed nature?
There's definitely like a red tint to the trunks that is unique from the other trees and trunks that you see around you. They're definitely, I mean, if there was blood fruit, you would figure that it would come from a blood tree, right? A blood fruit tree.
True.
So you get the feeling that this is what that is. These are the trunks of a blood fruit tree.
Hey, Dove, have you ever seen something like this before?
Not this exact one, no.
Is there any fruit that's kind of on the outskirts, or do we have to pretty much run in?
There doesn't appear to be any sort of fruit or anything living anywhere near this, like anywhere in this camp. They've stripped the areas. They've chopped down some trees to make these barricades, and stripped any useful things off of any of the trees that are surrounding it.
So an insight or like a search check wouldn't do anything because it's just literally not there.
Yeah, it's barren. They've set up this.
Okay.
They set up this camp for what you can probably tell is like a few weeks, and anything that was useful to them, they've already taken from this area.
Okay.
All right. Well, looks like there's only one way forward.
Yep.
So the orcs have built their encampment just north of a massive tree whose dense roots form a broad, shallow pool, perhaps 50 feet across. A viscous red liquid fills the pool, approximately 3 feet deep. In the center of this pool, a small shrub appears to be growing, bearing a single blood red fruit.
And we can all see that.
Yeah, so it is this fruit that you're seeing in the very middle of this pool. So the pool is the entire area that you see that's red. The branches and stuff have kind of made a barrier, as well as the ground has kind of risen up to kind of create almost like a natural pool, like an outdoor pool. That's about 3 feet deep and blood red colored.
And we went down that path that had the blood trail, the blood that I licked, right?
Yes, that led you to Blood Tree Camp. Whatever it was that was
That's what I
bleeding when you tasted it wasn't this. That was
Wasn't
probably whoever they were eating when you arrived.
All right. Well, Dove, I hate to ask again, but have you seen anything that looks like this? Is this going to harm us if we walk in? Do you have any idea?
It doesn't look too familiar. Can we send Duck in to check on it and see if he can maybe bring it back out to us so that, we don't have to worry about touching all the gunk?
Sure. You're going to send Duck Norris in to grab the blood fruit that is hanging off of this single shrub.
Mm-hmm.
So he flies in and grabs the blood fruit and goes to fly off. And as the blood fruit separates from the shrub, the pool of liquid starts to shake. And from the pool of liquid, a giant treant arm smashes Duck Norris out of
no,
the
sir.
sky.
No, sir.
And he comes flying back to you, covered in this blood gunk and barely hanging on. But he does have the blood fruit in his claws still, because he's Duck fucking Norris and he gets the job done.
That's admirable as hell.
So Duck Norris makes it back to you. He is covered in blood fruit, or whatever this red liquid is. And from the middle of this pool rises a blood treant. This massive, covered in red and red tinted wood, and screams at you.
Burn it for us. You can.
That thing looks really cool.
And on its exterior, you see there are at least 2 more of the blood fruits. Let's put that down here for now. But this thing is probably 12 feet tall-ish. Massive.
How big was the one that killed Bruno?
Probably 7 or 8 feet tall.
Oh,
We have our work cut out for us.
So this
I
is the
get it 'cause it's
time.
wood.
This is the time where I tell you to roll initiative.
I rolled a 10. That's more on par with the Nomad.
Bruno
Aramis
got a
rolled.
15.
Aramis rolled an 18.
I rolled a 6.
And Dove rolled an 8.
So the Blood Treant, whose initiative is an 18, screams out and is ready to go on the attack. But before it can, Aramis gets to do something.
I don't like that I keep having to go first. Why am I wasting my good rolls on initiative?
I know fire seemed to be a pretty good.
Yeah, fire is probably a good idea. Thank you.
Spreading out might not hurt.
I can hit it from here. I'm just going to shoot the decent flambe at it.
Okay.
Roll. We get an 11 plus 1 is 12, so we get 4 hits. Roll damage is 11 fire.
Okay. So as you can see, the leaves and stuff and the things of the Blood Treant appear to ignite as you're dealing fire damage to it. But it very quickly goes out. So there is no fire spreading.
All right, I think this liquid might be putting it out. Light a wet log doesn't work.
You not gonna do anything else?
No, I'm going to stay with everybody else.
All right, here we go. It is now the Blood Treant's turn. The Blood Treant can move.
Before it moves up, I swap to my brown trousers.
It's going to move 1, 2 spaces forward, and it is going to use its Blood Bramble. So it pushes its branches into the adjacent squares all around itself, splitting off into as however many squares there are adjacent to the thing.
So this tree that we're looking at, this thing's cut down.
Its branches go deep into the pool. You can't see necessarily the bottom of it.
Okay.
All right. So around you, around the treant, you see these plants begin to grow in all the spaces that are surrounding it. And so it reaches things in the ground. It like creates these new life. Unlike what you're seeing here, these would be red sort of bush things coming up, and they are going to continue to grow throughout the turn. But that's all it's going to do on its turn. So after after the Blood Treant goes, is Bruno.
All right.
Bruno, there's a treant here. What are you going to do?
This tree can go fuck off. Bruno, the most original move, is going to use phase lock on the big tree ant.
Okay. So as you go to trap it into a bubble, the bubble does not form around it. Cannot be phase locked. But instead, it does whatever it does when it can't be phase locked.
Okay. That is instead it takes cryo damage, and its movement is limited to just like one space. Let me try to find the exact description for it. Yeah, if an enemy cannot be face locked, they instead take
Which is 3d6. Yeah.
3d6 cryo damage per turn, and there's something about cryo damage where I think it's that they are limited in their movements too, because this happened to Mr. Bony Pants guy.
Yeah, so the Blood Treant is currently slowed, which means that its movement is reduced to one space. And if it takes cryo damage again while it's slowed, it becomes frozen, which means it can't move at all. But it took 9 damage, and you slowly see the surface of the pool around it is starting to crystallize and turn into ice.
Freeze, you big wooden bastard. That was the wrong accent too.
Yeah,
That was my
taunt him.
line.
Yeah.
All right, would you like to do anything else?
I'm going to move.
I was wondering when someone was going to move.
Yeah, I'm going to move. I can only move 4 spaces, so I'm going to move over to the left here. Up 1 and then over 3.
All right.
And then
so
that'll be it for my turn.
End your turn, moving and still being outside of the pool of liquid. Nomad is next.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to jump to about here. Just going to move to the east side of the map, just kind of south of where we were all entered from. And man, I can't get in there and do anything. And even if I did, okay, I think I'm just gonna bust out the rocket launcher, and I'm gonna try to deal some splash damage to these plants. I don't know what they're planning on doing, but I don't want them to do it.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna aim for the square here to try to affect the 3 at that corner with the tree in itself.
Okay. So the sprouts themselves are already probably about 3 feet high before they turn into full grown plants. So you will have to aim up over them. But the tree in itself, like I said, is probably what, 10 feet tall, 10, 12?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I could shoot the base of that, the base of the tree in it, and maybe deal some splash damage to whatever's around it.
So you can try and go between 2 of the plants and hit the base of the tree.
Yeah, however there's some space there. I'm not sure exactly what that,
Okay.
what that looks like. When you said bramble, I kind of thought it was just kind of like a mess of twisted vines that were like spiked up. Then I was like, oh, maybe I can just shoot over it, hit the tree ant, and affect whatever is around the tree ant in the in those adjacent squares.
Yeah, these plants are growing up pretty fast, so there's going to be room this turn, but in the future it's fully surrounded after this.
All right. Well, let's try to create a hole then.
All right.
All right. I rolled a 6, which is 1 hit, and that is 8 damage technically, right?
Yeah.
And what I'm really looking for is what happens to these plants.
Yeah, so it is the rocket launcher, so obviously there is splash damage. So each of these plants will take 4 damage, but none of them appear to go away fully. They are all still there. They aren't gone, but they are damaged. There is definitely more of a gap there than anywhere else around the blood tree ant currently.
Okay.
Next up, we have Dove.
All right. Can I can I first roll an insight check to see if I can figure out what this liquid is that everything's in?
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 7.
Okay, so from what you can tell, this liquid obviously is dampening the effects of any of the fire damage that's being dealt to the blood tree ant. Normally it would be more on fire by now. It is also giving life to these plants, and you can see the 2 blood fruit that are on the blood tree still are almost dripping from like when it moves from this liquid.
Okay. And do we know what these plants are that he's putting off? Are they like a piece of him and they're regrowing, or do we not know that?
They do appear to be pieces of him. When this happened, he like put his trunk or his branches into the ground and they formed all around him. And then he like pulled his branches back out. So these are like smaller pieces of himself that are growing. And from what you can tell up till now, they've been growing into like almost full-size plants at this point.
Okay. And then question, I know Duck got hurt before. How much health did he lose earlier?
He took 7 damage from getting swatted at by the blood treant. So currently at 10.
He's down to 10. Okay. So for right now, since these plants are still in the way, I'm gonna go ahead and just move over 1 right here next to Penumbra, and then I'm gonna pull out my burning boar. I think is the one I want to use. Yes. And I'm just gonna aim straight down and try to shoot through these 4 plants in front of me, and see what kind of damage we can do.
Okay. So yeah, on the left side there is a row of 4 plants, and you're just trying to shoot through all of them.
Correct.
Perfect.
All right. I rolled a 19, 2 hits. Rolled damage, 16, 24.
Yeah, because you also got a crit in there, so you did 4 crit damage plus 20 regular damage. So
24.
all 4 of these plants just go up in flame, and they're incinerated before the blood juice can even like come up and stop it. And they are ash, and the ash just drips down into the blood juice, and all 4 of those plants are gone.
Okay. All right. I think Duck and I are good for this go around.
Okay. Penumbra, what would you like to do?
Can you repeat? What did you say about the blood fruit? It's like dripping.
Yes, yeah, it looks like in all the effects that this blood juice pond is having, it also appears to be saturating whatever the blood fruit is, and there are still 2 blood fruit hanging off of this blood treant. Go ahead and roll an insight while you're looking.
I rolled a 20.
So you notice 2 things.
Damn.
One, you notice that the blood treant itself appears to try and stay in the pool. Like as it moved forward, it was getting closer to the edge of the blood pool, and like it pulled its leg branch back to stay in the pool. And 2, you notice that it is trying to protect and put up branches in front of both of these blood fruit themselves. So you're thinking that if you can get the blood fruit off, something good would happen. It might not care anymore to attack you.
Okay. But don't we need blood fruit? Isn't that what we came here for?
Yep, we already got 1. We need those other 2 though.
Dumb.
Uh-huh.
Dumb.
Are these pieces that are like right in front of us, are they like up in the air?
The plants?
Are you talking about the roots?
The root looking parts.
No, the roots themselves are they're on the ground and running alongside you. So if you were trying to like run over them, you would need to make like traverse checks if you're, sprinting. But your normal movement hasn't really crossed over them a lot in any of like the concentrated areas, so I haven't had to roll traverse checks yet. But they're definitely in your way on the ground.
Okay. But there's this one that's low. I don't know.
Do it. Do what you were gonna do.
Well, I mean, even if I like run up it right here, this is still lower than what he is, and he's tall and I'm not.
What the jump's for.
I mean, does he happen to have like a branch with one of the fruit just hanging over this root right here?
I would say yes, because you rolled a 20 on your insight. So if this is your plan, then obviously that's where the blood fruit is to be part of your plan.
Okay, that's what I want to do. I want to run up this root and jump up and try and just grab a blood fruit and then not
Are you gonna
die.
Pop off his head like Mario on like a just straight off the top of the head and land on the other branch?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
exactly.
You're the good
All right.
Mario, the one voiced by fucking Chris Pratt.
On your way over, you just go, "It's me, Mario."
Here we go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Let's I guess go.
All right. I mean, this seems like a badass move, right? You can throw some extra flair on there.
Sure. What do I do extra on my thing?
So I would set a difficulty, and then you will make your badass roll. Normally, I would say if anyone would assist you, but you are the last in the turn order currently, so no one else,
Yeah.
everyone else taking their turns. So for this, just so I know, your plan is to run up the branches, the large trunks of this tree that is going all the way around it. Leap
Yep.
up and grab the blood fruit off of the treant, and then jump back down and run off.
Yes.
Okay, so I think all of this is pretty standard fare for things that you've done before. It's like a in ring, out of ring. As a masseuse, you've run up and grabbed stuff off a tree before. You've probably attempted to do backflips off of trees.
Hey, and this tree is
Yeah,
even kind of
Nomad is
slowed.
basically a tree. I've done that.
So you know what? I'm gonna be. This is gonna be a 12. This isn't. This is not that difficult. You've already been assisted technically because Dove cleared the way by shooting and decimating that row of plants. So the pathway is clear, and you just need a 12.
I mean, and Bruno slowed it, right?
And Bruno slowed it.
Gonna
Yeah.
have
So I
a
will
little bit
give
of a
you.
slow movement.
Yeah, actually, let's just make it a 10. I was going to give you a bonus, but I can just reduce the difficulty for all the things that other people have done that helped. So,
Do I check this box that says badass question mark?
not yet. If you succeed, then you
No?
will.
Okay. Okay.
But you can just
So
do.
what do I need to roll?
There's a thing that says badass move, badass roll,
Badass
attempt,
roll.
badass
Yes.
roll. So you will click badass roll.
Use badass tokens.
Well,
Do you have any badass tokens?
I have 4.
So if you would like to spend 3 of them, you can turn that
Yes,
7
please.
into a 10.
Yes, please.
And then I have good news for you. Because you succeeded, you get 4 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The system really pays for itself. So your badass result is a 10. You can now check that box that says badass question mark because you are now badass exclamation point. And you will continue the rest of this turn using your badass stats instead of your normal ones. So you run up it, normally traverse check, you got it, it's badass, it's fine. Grab the fruit, interact check, you got it. You want to do a flourish as you jump off?
I want to do like the superhero thing when I come back down.
Oh, like
Oh,
one
Like
superhero
fist to
knee.
the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. Superhero landing, superhero landing. So I will have you make a traverse check for that, just so we can see how that goes. But again, it's going to be using your big stats anyway, so it should go pretty well.
Ian, you should play
I got a
some.
14.
You should play some really offbeat Marvel music right here for the superhero landing. That it sounds close, but you're like, there's something wrong with it. It doesn't quite fit the mold like I thought it would.
So yeah, so you flip off, you do the fist to the ground, and then on one knee, and in the other hand, you are holding one of the 2 remaining blood fruit that you need.
Great. And then I'm gonna come back because then I get. See, that was 1, 2, 3, probably 4. Well, I guess I can really only move to here. What's this?
Yeah, so your movement, where is it? Oh, yeah, it's 5 now. Yep. All right. And then you move back. You do the thing, and then you back up a space, and the blood treant glares at you, but it's not the blood treant's turn. It's Hermes's turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I have a question, and I am majorly inspired by Penumbra. So, I'm reading Kit's sheet, and it says that he floats. His movement is 5 floating. So, when it says 5 floating, is this like hoverboard rules in Back to the Future, or is this like he can float through the air? Like, could I ride him like Mega Man and the dog that he has?
Yes. I will say the more weight you put on Kit as it's floating, the closer to the ground it floats.
Okay.
So I think you are the only person that could technically ride him without him dunking into the the blood juice or it's like grinding into the ground.
Okay.
Oh
cool.
man.
So then my second question. Poor Nomad.
No, it's just
Really
up there,
wanna
just
know.
scraping
Kicking
along,
dirt.
moving just slower.
So then my second question is, can I summon him as part of a badass move? Like I'm going to fly on him, grab the fruit, and then come back?
Absolutely.
That works? Cool. So yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to summon Kit right in front of me, and then like jump on his back and fly up there, pop a couple shots at it, and then grab the fruit, come back and land.
Okay. I will say potential hazards in your way are those branches, those plants. They're damaged, but they are still in between you and the blood tree currently in your current path.
Maybe I should
So
shoot
you
at
would
them
have to
instead.
have, yeah, I was gonna say, or you could have Kit, do his melee attack, his fire blast or something to them as you go.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, let's do
Otherwise,
that.
they're gonna significantly add to your difficulty.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, let's have him blast before we like really take off at him.
Okay, so now since we're at the top of the order, I could ask if anyone else would like to assist you on this.
What kind
If
of
you have some
actions count
ideas.
as assisting?
Things that overall help what you're trying to do. Not like, I'm going to shoot it too. Like, that's not assisting you. That's
Okay.
just making an attack against it, right? But if they're like shooting at its feet or something to distract it while you jump on it, or if they're like clearing the path of the vines or whatever for you to get through, all of those things are more assisting than they are like trying to take the spotlight away from the badass thing you're doing.
I'm drawing a blank on what I can do.
What path are you trying to take again?
So I'll use the measurement thingy, and I was gonna have Kit summon right here, and then fly up and over, steal the fruit that's in this square, and then come back.
Am I able to try to help by trying to, well, at least attempting to shoot those vines like I did last time so that Hermes and Kit have a more clear path?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking if I come down to where Penumbra is, that's only 2, and then I can attempt to shoot straight across this way, and clear those so that this full front path is clear.
And Penumbra's kind of up in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Awesome.
Sounds cool.
Okay.
So for this, you are activating your action skill. You are moving. You're traversing to jump on the
Hey,
back.
sorry, before we do this, can we take like a minute break real quick? Our child is dying from coffee.
Okay.
Thanks.
She's dying from coffee?
Coughing, but
Oh.
similar.
Coughing.
I started dragging herself out of
We can keep the recording.
like out
going.
of the
We'll just-
bedroom or something like
It was
that
the
into the
dining
living room
room,
or
yeah.
whatever.
No, she said she's missed like the past 3 days of school. She,
Oh.
yeah, from coughing. Been tested for COVID twice. It's not it. I think it's just like change of
good.
season allergies, and she gets hit with allergies hard.
I started seeing a DO instead of an MD as my doctor, and she suggested that if you have allergies, you should take Flonase every single day. Like every single day, it doesn't matter if you have allergies or not, because it doesn't it doesn't do the same thing as like Claritin. It acts differently, and so it's supposed to
the
like hold it
Shooting
all
up
off.
the nose stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does.
She does every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
Seasonal stuff just wrecks her hard. I don't know where she got it from. I don't think Julia and I are allergic to really anything.
Moving to the south makes it worse, though.
Yes. Yeah,
I
that
had
was
seasonal up north, but when we came down here, it was worse. I don't know if you guys, I mean, obviously it's not that time of year right now, but if you guys get the pollen over there, like we get the big, thick
Yep.
yellow stuff that coats your vehicle, that makes me really sick in the spring.
That's gross. Yeah, where it like sticks on your car, and then if it rains, it's like all gunky.
Yeah, my orange car literally turns yellow.
It's so gross.
True.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
gonna make it.
Yeah, she just started to have a coughing fit and obviously didn't know what take a drink of water meant.
It's weird. I don't think she's ever heard that before. Take a drink. That's new advice she's never heard. Definitely not 500 times the past 3 days.
She's like, "What are you even saying?
Like,
What's
she
this mean?"
She just stood there staring at me as she was coughing. I'm like, what are you doing?
Dying.
I'm just gonna let it take
Yeah.
me. Because there's nothing I could do. Nothing I could possibly do to stop this. Okay.
All right, sorry. Back to this.
So Hermes is activating the action skill to bring Kit out, jumping on the back of Kit. Kit's gonna ride in and I'm assuming, get their licks in while Hermes is grabbing the blood fruit and getting back out. And to support this, Dove is going to try blasting through all of the plants that are in the way of that in front of the blood tree.
Yep.
Sounds
All
right to
right.
me.
Add 6 to this. Let's see. This is gonna be just straight up 20. A 20. Seems fine.
A 20.
Yes. So you will both roll the badass die and add your things together, and you are hoping to get a 20 or higher.
I
And I check
Total.
mark the badass question mark.
Not yet.
Okay.
Only if you succeed.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
35.
Nice.
Hey,
Yeah.
Patrick. What's the
13
only
plus
thing
22.
funnier than 34? 35.
Fine. Hate me. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, for some reason it's a 1 now. I don't know what that was about. It's a glitch in Foundry. I don't know where
Something
that came
about
from.
angered gods. And
We rolled
I
2
don't know what
dice and
happened.
got a 1. What?
Something sus.
But yeah, 13 and a 22, total of 35. So this is 100% successful. You can both check the badass question mark box.
Hell yeah.
Dove, once you're done assisting with this, then you'll uncheck yours because yours doesn't go for the rest of the round. Yours only goes for your assisting actions for this.
Okay.
But Davies will be for the entire round. Sorry, Hermes's will be for the entire round. Hermes gets 4 badass tokens. Dove, you get 2.
Okay.
Hell yeah, brother. Pleasure doing business with you.
High five.
So I will start by throwing Kit out here, and we'll go at it. What would you like to do first?
So as Kit lands, he's gonna stay in dog form this time. And a torrent of fire flies out of his shoulders and back, and I'll stand like between them like a surfboard. And then he opens his mouth and just blasts right here towards the tree and these two. And then we're gonna fly up, grab the fruit. But before that happens, I'm gonna let Dove take her shot.
All right. So Dove, you can go ahead and make your attack.
Use my burning boar that does up to the 1d10 damage. Let me go ahead and roll. An 18. So 2 roll damage. 7.
So
20
once
damage.
again, the 3 plants that were in front of you are now toasted
Damn right.
and no more,
Oh, yeah.
clearing the path for Hermes and Kit to ride in and save the day.
Cool. So we'll fly up here, grab the fruit. Is that an interact check at this point?
Yes, but auto succeed because
Okay.
badass. And then what was the damage you were doing?
Kit was going to use his blast.
I really lost you there at the end.
Kit is going to do his big.
And then that was it.
Blah, and then it's gone.
Kit is going to blah
He got
all
too far
over the
away
big
from us.
tree,
We couldn't hear him.
which is 2d6. So he did 5.
Okay, so Kit blasts both the blood treant and the plant that is remaining on this side for 5 damage. That's enough to destroy it with the damage that the Nomad did with the rocket launcher blast. And the blood treant is just pissed. It's just pissed.
Cool. So then we're back with the fruit.
And so you take the fruit and you begin to see the blood treant go from like raging and its expression kind of fades away back to kind of neutral, and it begins to turn away from you. But that is it for your turn. Oh, it's the blood treant's turn now.
Yep.
Blood treant itself is going to move. It can only move 1 because it is slowed and taking cryo damage. but it's going to begin to return to the middle of the pool and kind of, like when Godzilla goes back into the ocean after like really fucking up whatever city he's in,
Yeah.
Yep.
and everyone's like, yeah, cool, I guess you do you. Oh. That's what's happening here. Is it turned around, goes back to neutral, ignoring all the damage and pain that it's caused, and all the dead people, and just walking back and into the pool of blood. And any of the plants that were growing also recede back into the pool. And that is it is retreating. No longer cares to fight you because it no longer has blood fruit to protect.
Problem solving themselves. Smart lead, Penumbra.
Thanks.
So what would you like to do?
Nomad, do you need a drink?
It crossed my mind, but I say we cut our
we'll skip
losses
the
and
garlic
hightail it.
bread.
As much as I'd like to beat the shit out of this thing, seeing Bruno eviscerated earlier has kind of done it in for me this week. Once a week. That's my rule. So, yeah. Guess if that is an option, I'm going to follow the Treant's plan and part ways.
Okay, yeah. So as you continue, the effects of the freezing wear off from the blood treant, and it does sink back and recede back into the pool, the blood pool that is surrounding you all, and you see just a tiny little shrub poking up from the top, and the smallest, like berry-sized bud of a new blood fruit is growing.
I feel like this is going to be a problem for us probably later, but that's later us issues, I think.
I think that's very wise. Let's get the fuck out of here. We got our fruit. Let's go see the door.
Bruno is.
Hey, is the bird okay?
You talk about Duck?
Yeah.
Oh, he's okay. I mean, he's down to 10 health from 17, but he's all right.
Okay, cool.
He's a little shaken up.
I may have a solution. And you look over, and Bruno's holding a regenerator grenade over it, just kind of casually tossing it up and down in his hand. Who wants to chuck some regeneration grenades into the little pit?
You can do that after I'm gone. I saw what happened last time. Don't worry, I'm not actually going anywhere. I just want to film it. From a safe distance.
Come on. You all know that you want to throw the grenades in there.
I know I want you to throw the grenade in there.
But if Bruno doesn't do that, you all begin to head back to past Blood Tree Camp and up the path. In front of you sits the same door with the dwarven runes in it that had the whatever sonnet or poem or whatever it was about the blood fruit, which said that you needed 3 of them. And you are standing there with the 3 blood fruit and the door. What would you like to do?
Is there anywhere that the fruit go into? Or are there any markings that we haven't seen so far?
You'll see on the door where the poem is. Roll an insight check.
Okay.
I was going to say the nomad with his mouth open is just going,
Do something.
He's trying to eat one of these blood fruit, but is restraining himself.
I got a 9.
Okay, so you notice the poem and it's there and whatever, it still has all the stuff. And there are a few extra sigils around where the poem is that don't necessarily translate into the words in the poem. There just seem to be extra.
Like
And there's 3
graffiti?
of them. Yeah, kind of.
Maybe we try touching the fruit to these? I don't know what they
mean,
say.
Usually I'd have an idea, but this is not my forte.
Oh,
So I'm here to follow your lead.
Hermes, they're dwarven ruins, so obviously you're a bit rusty, but you think that the 3 extra runes translate to blood, fruit, and please.
All right, yeah. Here, hand me the fruits, and I'll just see if this works. So I'll hold all 3 up.
Make an interact check.
Interact check. Please don't suck. Got a 19, plus 1 is 20.
Woo.
Okay, so as you do that, as you're touching the 3 symbols with the fruit, not much happens. But sometimes you don't know your own strength, and you're especially in the metal arm that you have, and you push a little bit too hard, and some of the juice goes from the inside of the fruit to the outside of one symbol, and that symbol starts glowing, and you quickly realize and do that with the other 2. And once all 3 of the symbols have blood, fruit, juice on them, the door begins to slowly open. And you realize you still have the blood fruit is still there. It just doesn't have as much juice in it as it did before. So they're still useful. Like, you can still keep them.
I'm definitely gonna do that. What if I can make
Or
like
eat
a
them.
blood gravy?
Can I sample it on the way by the door?
Oh yeah.
Just the
I've been dying for this. Maybe quite literally, we'll see how this plays out.
yeah, so roll me a damage, just straight up damage roll to see how your constitution on this is.
Well, that would be an 8.
So 2 things that you notice in this moment. The first is the blood fruit juice itself tastes pretty good. It's not bad. The second thing you notice is that was by far not the first, second, third, or even 100th thing that has been rubbed into those runes that you just swiped from and licked your finger. So you begin to vomit.
That makes sense. I won't lie, this isn't the first time I've been here, and I will not be the last. Well, that was a good session, guys. Thanks for joining us. If you guys, as always, get the chance, you can check us out on our socials, at Bad Assets on Twitter as well. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, you can catch the video form of the show over on YouTube. So go check that out, and thanks for joining us, guys. Have a good one.
Arrivederci.
I feel like you find yourself in the bushes a lot.
Well, I think we're tied right now.
Touche.